Your attention, masters, mistresses. All systems functional for the Everything Geek podcast.
Hey, my name's Rich McDonald, and I played David Mason in Call of Duty Black Ops 2, and you're listening to Everything Geek podcast.
Hey everybody, you're listening to Everything Geek podcast. Thanks for listening.
Hey, it's Leif Gamfert. I played Uncle Ben's killer in The Amazing Spider-Man, and you're listening to the Everything Geek podcast.
Hello, I'm Simon Fisherbecker. You probably know me better as Dorian Moldovar from Doctor Who, or the Fat Friar from Harry Potter. And this is Everything Geek podcast.
Face it, Tiger. You just hit the jackpot with the Everything Geek podcast.
You're listening to the Everything Geek podcast, bringing you interviews from your favorite films and TV shows every week, and all of the latest news. Here's your host, Ruari Williamson.
Hello everyone, you're listening to the Everything Geek podcast. I'm your host Ruari, and joining me today is a very special guest. We have Angela Bartys, best known as the voice of Chicken and Gothi in Dragon's Race to the Edge, Astrid Hofferson in the How to Train Your Dragon video games, and Fawn in Tinkerbell and the Lost Treasure, Tinkerbell and the Great Fairy Rescue, Tinkerbell and the Secret of the Wains Tinkerbell and the Pirate Fairy, Kinect Disneyland Adventures, and Pixie Hollow Games. How are you today?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. It's a pleasure to have you on the show today.
I'm so excited to be here, honestly. I'm even happy you care about it. It's awesome.
Yeah, well, we care about everyone. We try and interview a lot of people, small parts, and work our way up, basically. But yeah, everyone's welcome.
It's good. You have to start somewhere.
Yeah. No, well, we've done a lot of interviews now that I didn't word that at all well, but no, we just welcome anyone and everyone on the show.
I love it. No, it's great.
So getting right into my questions for you, Angela, for some of our listeners that may not be familiar with your background, can you tell us how you got into acting?
Of course. So, I started really young just as a passion to sing and act, and I was writing plays as a kid, and it was just always kind of a natural thing for me that I loved to do, and I loved music and all of that. Everything that goes with entertainment and arts was just my heart. So I went to school for music, and about 2 semesters in was like, I don't want to go to school anymore. I just want to go out to LA and see what I can do, just go for it. So I moved out here when I was 19. That was 15 years ago, and just kind of took a chance, and very strange coincidences brought me to how I got into voiceovers and everything. So it's been a weird journey.
Yeah, it's really cool, but that's a really important thing as well, because college can obviously teach you a lot, but sometimes you just have to learn from experience, if you know what I mean. It's just going out there and doing it.
Exactly, it really is, and I don't think any one way is the right way, and you can't tell anyone, you should do this or that. You really have to follow your gut and listen to yourself, and just do what you think is right.
Definitely. Now, I know before Dragon's Race to the Edge and Chicken, which we'll be getting into, of course, I know you originally voiced Astrid Hofferson in the How to Train Your Dragon video games before that, and that you do the scratch vocals for Astrid on all of the TV show episodes, which is interesting for me to learn about myself, because Astrid's my favourite Dragons character. So I'm sure we'll talk about that a bit more as well. So obviously that's before America Ferrera comes in and does her lines, that you do the scratch vocals before then. How did voicing Chicken and Gothi on Race to the Edge come about? Do you think it was because you'd done the games and the scratch vocals before that?
Definitely. I think doing the scratch vocals was such an amazing opportunity. Because it was this weird thing that, sure, my voice wasn't in the movie at the end of the day, it's America, but I got to be a part of the whole process. I got to go in and record every script, read everything, be a part of the team, and it was kind of magical, honestly, and the team is really amazing that works on it. And so just being there, and it was a bunch of cool group of people, they're like, let's have you read for this role, what do you think? So it really definitely came about because I was there putting in the FaceTime, and they were nice enough to give me a shot to do it. So that was it.
Yeah, that's really cool. And for some of our listeners that may not be familiar with the whole term, scratch vocals, can you tell us about the process of them?
Yes. So scratch, it's actually interesting. When I did Tinkerbell, they figured out, because America was originally in the first Tinkerbell, and just through my reads, they said, you sound a lot like America Ferrera. And it was just this, like I said, coincidence earlier, like, who would have thought that? I had no idea. So that started this whole train of sounding like her and then going in to do the scratch vocals. So scratch vocals are voiceover artists will usually come in before the main actress or actor comes in to record. And they'll come in and record all the lines. And the purpose is basically so they can either animate to the voice, they can get a feel for what they need to change, if they need to change the script, if something's not working. And we're a lot cheaper than than the big actresses. So they can do that, it's true. We can come in and, they'll call us and we'll be there tomorrow, we'll record. And it gives them the chance to really just kind of fine tune the movie and the script and everything about it. So when the actress comes in, they're ready to go.
Yeah, that's really interesting, and I actually can hear it a little bit in your voice that you do sound a bit like America Ferrera. I should just ask you to recite some Astrid lines on the spot, but I'm not that mean, so I won't do that.
And I was wondering, I wonder if he's going to ask me to do this. Let me train my voice, though.
Next time.
Gladly.
Yeah. Next time I'll, think of some lines, like I'll have, notes. This Astrid quote is good. Maybe I'll ask her to do it, but I won't put you on the spot or anything, don't worry.
No problem.
But it's such an interesting process, and I myself get a better feel, for what the whole process is now because of what you've said. You get someone to do the lines first, and then before you bring in the more expensive cast member, as you put it, to do the lines. Just they should pay you.
Exactly.
They should pay you better.
They know what they're doing right.
Yeah, well, that's definitely really interesting. Now, how does it feel knowing you can put on your resume that you voiced a chicken?
I think it's pretty hilarious. Actually, some people, I also work in production and TV. I produce TV, and people will sometimes look me up and they'll say, What does this mean? What do you mean you voiced a chicken? I don't get it. I'm like, oh, you have to watch the show. It's pretty, I think it's great. I think it's just cool to be a part of such an amazing franchise, to be honest. Any part of it, to have any part of myself involved in that's something I think is so just magical and amazing and has affected so many people on so many levels. It just, it makes me really happy.
Definitely. And did you know Chicken was a fan favorite character among the Dragons fans before you did the episode?
I didn't. I had a slight understanding because it was kind of this inside, when we go in to record, there was always this kind of inside joke about Chicken. Just everyone kind of loved Chicken and would laugh about it. But I thought that was internal. I actually had no idea that it extended to the fans. I really thought this was just like an inside, everyone loves Chicken. But so it was funny.
No, Chicken's definitely a very memorable character. Now, if you do watch Dragons yourself, do you have any favorite Chicken scenes?
Oh gosh, it's so hard to choose specific scenes, especially since I recorded them all. Like they all feel like one show. Because I feel like they all just backed up together. All the scripts, I read through, all of a sudden I'm like, which episode is that? But I will say, I mean, of course, I love the one when she talks because it was just so unexpected in this moment that I think was so great. Because I feel like Chicken is kind of tough nuts, like inner self / ego. He's like, she can do no wrong. She's always right, but he cares for her. He really loves her. So, yeah. that was one of my favorites, of course. But she's pretty awesome all the time.
Yeah, and that whole episode was just really great. And yeah, I mean, once you heard like Chicken talking in his hallucination, I was just like, wow, that was unexpected.
I love it, and I love that it was in a hallucination too. It was so great. They did a really good job with that.
Definitely. Which would you say is your favorite dragon in the whole How to Train Your Dragon franchise?
It's hard because I did ask so many lines as Astrid that I should say I love Stormfly, and I do have an affinity for her, but there's something about Toothless because there's just this heart in Toothless that Hiccup that they share that I identify with more personally. Astrid is so strong and independent, and I definitely identify with that. It's awesome. She's like a little Joan of Arc warrior. But Hiccup's her counterpart, and I think Toothless is the same. Just so much heart and devotion and loyalty, and I love that.
Definitely. Obviously, Dragons is so popular as well, but Tinkerbell is such a popular character in his own right, such a popular Disney character, and you got to voice Fawn in a few of the Tinkerbell productions. What was it like working on those?
To be honest, I think I shed a tear almost every time I went in to record. I feel like such a dork, but I grew up watching Disney movies and singing them. I mean, God bless my parents for putting up with it because I was nonstop, reciting everything. So to all of a sudden open my eyes and be looking around me and I'm in the Disney Toons studios or I'm on the Disney lot and I'm recording this movie. I mean, it was surreal. The whole experience felt surreal, and I was really humbled and grateful, and it still doesn't feel like it happened. I tried to soak up every second of it because it was just pure fun and a childhood dream.
Yeah, I can imagine. It sounded like, it was just the perfect opportunity for you, a great production to work on, but also as a big fan yourself, it was like the dream job.
It really was. I wish it could keep going and going and going, but not everything lasts, so it was perfect while it lasted.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's just so funny as well because I only found this out myself like a couple of hours before we went live here that America Ferrera originally voiced Fawn, so it's just so ironic. It's the circle that keeps on going.
It really is. I never would have thought. It's just like, that just goes to show you, I think, for anyone out there who's trying to like pursue a dream or a passion, it's like you try to put parameters on it or say exactly, I want this and I want this. And it's good to be clear about your goals, but you have to understand that just by moving forward and taking steps and leading with your heart and your passion, doors open that you're not even aware of. So, be open to that because things can happen out of nowhere as long as you're continuing to go.
Definitely. Which would you say has been the most challenging role in your career so far?
I don't know if I've had one there's been a couple, it's weird. Challenging, I prefer when I get to record something where there's a lot of lines, and meaning like you can get into it. There's emotion, there's depth in what you're reading. It's actually harder for me to go in and do some of the video games because if you see the script, they're broken up just by words. Like, no, yes, ha, ha, it's just like noises and sounds, and that's fun, but it feels like a vocal exercise more so than, really getting into it. So sometimes that can be challenging just because it's kind of mindless and physical and you can't really put your emotion into it. So
yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Well, actually, you can't put emotion into it. You can get it. I mean, I do, but it's very limited.
Well, I mean, it's more challenging on video games because, you could have to say certain lines, multiple different ways for them to, like, choose from. I mean, you do the same on TV shows, of course, but not really as often, and obviously there's the, complaints about the voiceover in gaming. Like, a lot of the voice actors aren't happy, which is understandable.
Yeah, it's true. And I understand for people that do this every single day of their lives, their voice, and I care about my voice too, but their voice is their moneymaker, and it doesn't just keep going and going. You have to take care of it and rejuvenate it. And so, yeah, when you're not being compensated or treated well in the right way, there's definitely been a lot of issues with that. And I think they have finally come to an agreement, so that's good.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's a really important step because, I've interviewed other voice actors that do video games every day or every other day, and they really, weren't, happy about it. So it's great that they're making, progress, with them and the video game companies.
Exactly. And I think, at the end of the day, our job, we're so lucky to do this. It's such I still feel so blessed to be able to do it. I'm not very picky, but at the end of the day, it just boils down to being fair and treating people right in anything they do, in any job that you put your effort into. There's a human standard that should be, and I think that's all it boils down to.
Yeah, I completely agree. My final question for you, Angela, do you have any upcoming acting roles or any other projects you would like to talk about?
Well, let's see. I am a little on hold with DreamWorks because the new movie is going to be coming out. So that will kind of kickstart a whole new line of promo and shows and all that probably next year. So that'll be exciting. And as far as I'm personally working on my children's animated series that I'm writing and producing myself. And then I have a TV show about video gaming, actually, that I just finished and produced that'll be airing next week. So that's really exciting.
Yeah, it's very exciting, and as well as good luck with that. Good luck with the writing and producing.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome. That's all of my questions for you today, Angela. It's been a pleasure talking to you on the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me, Ruari. I really appreciate it. It was fun.
You're very welcome, and hopefully we can do it again sometime.
Great. I'm always available.
Great. And I'll be sure to have some Astrid, lines written on a sticky note.
Yes. Be ready next time. I'll do it for sure.
Great. I'll look forward to that then. Thanks again for joining us, and take care. Bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Time to wrap up today's show. Make sure to check out our podcast links, check out our website, website.everythinggeekpodcast.com/EGP, check out our Facebook page, www.facebook.com/everythinggeekpodcast, check out our YouTube channel, www.youtube.com/user/everythinggeekcast, check us out on Twitter, twitter.com/everythinggeekp, check us out on Instagram, instagram.com/official-everythinggeekpodcast, check out our Mixcloud profile, www.mixcloud.com/everythinggeekpodcast, email us at the following email, everythinggeekpodcast@gmail.com, check out our companion podcast, Everything Geek Comiccast, www.facebook.com/everythinggeekcomiccast. Make sure to check out the hosts' YouTube channels. Mine is www.youtube.com/user/septusdestroyers. Check out Angela Bartys on Instagram, www.instagram.com/blackandwhiteneon, and check out channel 1138 where we broadcast live from, www.channel1138.com. Geeks out, everyone.
I think for us, we always want to make each season. Sorry, that's one of our other producers in the office. Yeah. That's Morgan. She's a producer.
It has a life of its own, and I mean, people know more about the show than I'd say Art and Doug, which is pretty wild. But it is. When we were just starting, I wanted to do right by Snotloud.